Hello guys, and welcome to this week's video. This week I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and I'm going to talk about how I have been coping with burnout this year. If you are interested in what I use for this video, I'll leave a full list of all the equipment that I used down below in case you are interested, as well as Amazon links if you're dying to get a hold of them yourself. I do use some paints in here, which I'll also link to the store that I got them from. And if you're ever interested in about the actual speed paint itself, let me know in the comments section down below. But I really wanted to use this speed paint to talk about burnout. Burnout is a little bit different than art block. Art block is like a lack of motivation to draw something, or you're unable to draw a drawing the way that you would like to. And there are ways of coping with that, and it's okay to not draw every single day. That's absolutely fine. Burnout's a little bit different. It's kind of like stress, but it's a little bit more than that. It's a state of chronic stress that can lead to physical and emotional exhaustion. It can lead to cynicism and detachment, feelings of ineffectiveness and lack of accomplishment. And when you are deep in that burnout, you really struggle to operate on a personal and professional level effectively. It's not something that happens overnight. You don't just magically turn up and go, hey, I've got burnout. And as same with anything else, these things take time, they grow, they breed, and it pushes you to a point where you really struggle to do anything. It is difficult to kind of recognize burnout from stress, because you can get stress from taking on too much, and I myself, I know that I take on too much. But when burnout happens, you can get the signs of physical or emotional exhaustion, whether or not you have like lack of sleep, insomnia, chronic fatigue. You start to forget things because you're not sleeping very well, or you're too stressed about the subject. Your immune system can lower from it because you're stressing about doing everything that you can't physically do, and you're getting your lack of sleep. It brings down your immune system. And recognizing the symptoms and seeking professional help will always help you 100%. And if you ever feel like everything is getting a little bit too much, I please urge you to go and speak to someone. Even speaking to someone can help bring the stress levels just a little bit down, and coming to understand when you need help, because it's not exactly the easiest to ask for help or to understand where you are going wrong. You kind of feel hopeless about getting all the work done, and it's building and piling on top, and you're not getting through it fast enough, and it's almost like you feel like you're putting all these hours in, but you're not getting enough of your work done. And you'll feel like you're putting all this time in, but nothing's achieving. You're not achieving enough. And then you're stressing about not achieving enough, and then it's going round in circles again and again and again. And if you do have a very busy lifestyle, this is something that can build up on you. I do have a fairly busy lifestyle. I work in my day job, and I come home and I work on my illustration. And sometimes I can be up at like 8 o'clock in the morning for work and come home at 6, and then I'll eat, and then I'll go straight back into drawing. I'll be drawing until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, then going to bed, and then waking up again at 7:30 to get to work. And yes, it's because I'm motivated to work, but at the same time, that does build up on you, and you do experience the burnout where you're looking at the drawing and it's not coming. It's very different from, I will say, art block, because art block is the lack of motivation to draw, and with burnout, it's kind of, you're trying to draw, you're getting your stuff done, but it's just not happening fast enough, and nothing is happening fast enough. And for me, when I started to realise I was taking on too much and I was experiencing a lot of these symptoms of I was just consistently tired. I am always tired. And I came to realise that I was taking on far too much and I needed to make cutbacks. And it was one of the reasons why I cut back to 1 video a week instead of 2, because I just didn't have time to do everything. And you do see a lot of YouTubers experiencing burnout because you are consistently trying to work to put stuff out there, and it's the same with everyday life. You're consistently working to put stuff out there, but you aren't achieving it as quick as you would like. It's also very personal as well, because for me, I feel like I don't work hard enough, and then I'm like, well, there's only so many hours in a day. You can't work every single hour of the day. It's physically impossible. You'd have no time for yourself. And it's recognizing when you need to take time for yourself and have some me time. And that isn't just, sometimes it can't just be a simple evening. Sometimes you need to take a good week out to recover, to replenish, to understand that you've taken on too much, and to kind of refresh yourself. I think it's so important to talk about burnout. I think it's so important to talk about when you're feeling overwhelmed, because it's very difficult to talk about. I like to juggle a lot of projects at once, and I know I do. I take on far too much, but I thrive under that, which sounds really stupid because I know it stresses me out, but I thrive under the stress because it motivates me to work harder. And it's really difficult sometimes when these challenge months come about, which is why I took a break with November a little bit, because I was taking too much on. I was juggling too many plates to try and get everything done at once. It's to recognise and timetable yourself and organise yourself and understand what you can and can't do. I dropped projects this year because I knew I wasn't going to be able to take them on. So I didn't do a Halloween this year because I knew I wasn't going to have time. I dropped to 1 video this year because I knew I physically was not going to have time. I haven't done streams in a very long time because I couldn't fit it into my timetable, where I knew I just couldn't physically do it. And that's okay. It's about recognizing what you can and can't do and understanding that you can't do everything at once. And things are going to take time. Things are going to be juggled in X, Y, and Z. And this is why you've got to understand and kind of be harsh on yourself. No, you cannot do all that work because you're already taking on a load of work already. Now, for example, if I know a lot of you are at school, or you're at college, or you're at art school, or you are working, and there sometimes isn't time every single day to draw. And that's okay. You don't have to draw every single day. I like to draw a little bit every day because I feel like I'm still practicing. I feel like I'm honing my skills, and I feel like I'm doing something. Even when I'm sitting down and I'm watching TV, I can't sit down and watch TV because I'm consistently thinking in the back of my head, I must do work. I feel bad that I'm sitting down and watching TV. But that's not the right way of thinking about things. That's not the right way. And we are so harsh on ourselves, and we are so judgmental on ourselves for not working as hard as other people. And you've got to remember that everyone has different circumstances, and not everyone is going to be able to work to the same level, to the same X, Y, and Z, and produce all the work that they need to. If you handle what you can handle and you can fit into your timetable, and if you need to take a break, you take a break. I think it's so weird that we push ourselves to such a harsh extent that we feel like we need to do everything all the time and we need to produce at such high levels, and this is why we experience burnout. And as I said, if you are experiencing extreme signs of burnout, like, I do recommend making sure you speak to someone, making sure that you recognize when you've taken on too much, because when you recognize that you've taken on too much, you can understand where you can cut back and what you can handle. It's a way of recognizing what you can and can't do. That is not a failure. That is recognizing and understanding everything that you do and how you can cope. This year, I've come to understand a lot more about myself, and I've come to understand what I can and can't do, and I've become much stricter in everything that I do. And what I mean by this is I now timetable everything. I have project deadlines, like I have pre-deadlines and then harsh deadlines for stuff that I can do and what I can produce, because you know, you can't do everything at once, and that's okay. I hope this video has been a little bit of help to any of you, and if you are experiencing any signs of burnout, or if you're feeling overwhelmed and overstressed, make sure to speak to someone and don't take too much on, because you don't have to, and that is okay. I hope this video has been a little bit helpful, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy drawing, love what you do, and as always folks, stay creative.